What's going on, fight fans? I'm back here with another video here set for you guys. I'm not I'm not breaking this card down. I'm not. I'm not. UFC 310, excuse me, 312. That's how pissed off I am, man. You have Hyun Park. All right, pretty decent. We're starting it off early prelims. Okay, all right. Hyun Park. All right, all right. Nothing crazy. But the more and more you just start looking at this card, the more and more you just start like, what what did the UFC plan? We're getting UFC Saudi Arabia, Izzy and Mavov. That card is actually pretty freaking solid, right? And you got this Jubilee kid from India, this token Indian kid that's supposed to be the next big thing out of India, which usually never fares well, especially as a fighter. Um, I mean, like what, like Kevin Jusay coming off the loss against losing this guy's name right now, but he called him out as a Frenchman. They fought on the Paris card. He did pretty good, very good kickboxer. CKB is with them boys with Izzy Dan Hooker. I don't know why he's not on this card, but he's gonna be fighting Justin Gaethje later in the year on 313. No JDM. He's gonna be fighting on the London card. I'm actually looking forward to the debut of Alexander Topuria. I want to see if he's up to the par of what his brother is with Ilya. So, the Cody Haddon matchup was actually pretty decent. Cody Haddon actually has pretty decent hands and feet. Not really much of a grappler, so maybe Topuria would have showed off his grappling ability or whatever. But this Kobe Thickenese dude, never heard of him and don't really care about it. You got your girl Wang Kong, I'm saying. She's coming off that loss, that sub loss on that whatever that Chinese card was. Bruno Brazil, pretty. You know what? It's a decent WMMA fight. The only WMMA fight besides the co-main event. I mean, hopefully she can be getting her career back on track with a dub. Um, I mean, I guess I don't. No JDM, no Volk. Volk is going to be fighting on the 314 card, rumored against Aporia. This fight's pretty decent. Tom Nolan versus Vyasha Blorshev. My boy Beefchev, he's pretty good on the feet. He got a little nice dub against Yamiz Top last time out. Tom Nolan, pretty okay on the feet as well. Both kickboxers, you know what I mean? It is what it is. The prelims isn't crazy. You don't really expect the prelims to be crazy. Um, but so far it's okay. We're running in smooth. It's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? We're it's okay. It's good enough. And then you got the prelim headliner of Jack Jenkins and Gabriel Santos. It's okay. It's okay, Australia. Australia, you guys have your Australians on it. It's decent fights here and there. Last two especially were actually pretty decent. Should be pretty decent. And I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, the prelims is pretty. It's watchable. It'll be on. I'll be watching it. I'll be entertained, and hopefully the prelims runs smoothly, efficiently, and timely. And then we move into this main card, right? We have Jack Matthews versus Francisco Prado. This is on the main card, right? You're paying $80, right? 80 fucking dollars, right? And you have Jack Matthews, a dude who is pretty much just a gatekeeper of the welterweight division. Lost to Sean Brady, lost to Michael Morales, is coming off a win against Philip Rowe, who's all right. You have Francisco Prado, who's 1-2 in the UFC, and just is coming off a loss against Daniel Zahuber, who is supposed to be the Mexican prospect for the UFC, to really progress the Mexican UFC agenda. And then you get Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bellato. This is what you're getting, UFC fans, MMA fans. This is what they're giving you on the main card. $80 a pop. These pay-per-views. You got Jimmy Crute, who's on a 3-fight losing streak. He got TKO'd by Anthony fucking Smith. TKO'd him. Jamal Hill blasted him out of there. He went to a draw with Alonzo Menifield and then got subbed by Alonzo Menifield. We have Rodolfo Balotto, who just recently beat the recently cut Iho Pretoria a year ago in 2023, in late 2023, and is finally coming back for a fight against Jimmy. And the biggest middle finger in your booty hole on the future fight, you have Justin Tafa versus Taliesin Textera. I remind you, $80 fucking dollars. This is abysmal. This is a disgrace. This is inhumane. Taliesin Textera, his debut in the UFC. Justin Tafa coming off a loss against Carl Williams. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? As the future fight on the main card that you're paying $80 for? You... In the co-main, you have Zhang Weili versus Tatiana Suarez. Should be a decent fight. Women's strawweight title belt on the line. Tatiana Suarez has been hyped and been built as this Khabib of the woman. Zhang Weili is the reigning, pound for pound best woman fighter as of right now. She should be alright. They did the same thing for DDP and Strickland last time out that they fought on a card where the card was absolutely horrendous. And I think the co-main was like Maribel Silva versus Raquel Pennington. They're just setting up these dudes for failure. I don't know what else to say. But to the main event we go. The only prediction you'll get out of me: Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland 2. First fight was very, very close. An absolute banger, honestly. A lot of people, especially online on the social medias, saying that they believe that Sean edged it out. He got the win over Dricus. In my honest opinion, off the first watching that fight, I did think that Dricus was the rightful winner and should have been the UFC champion and is the UFC champion as of right now. So I think the UFC got it correct, right? Did a little bit more, did more with the grappling, has more power on the feet. You got Sean Strickland, who's been kind of lackadaisical, dragging his feet with the fights. Hasn't really been putting his name out of there. He doesn't really care. He got the win against Paulo Costa, kind of did his deed for the UFC. And pretty much said, you know what, that's what I'm going to do. And the next time I'm fighting is for the belt. A dude that didn't give a fuck about the belt. All of a sudden, now everything's about the belt for this guy. And then you got Dricus du Plessis coming off the high, the momentum, the wave that he's been on, getting the submission victory in the 4th round against Israel Adesanya in a very, very tough, close, competitive win. Absolutely great performance from him, from Dricus du Plessis. In this fight, honestly, I kind of see it going similar how it was in the first fight. Dricus, obviously, with his powerhouse ways of him just fighting pretty much in explosive spurts, just fighting like a bull, like an ox, just being an absolute animal that he is, just running roughshod on you, whether it be the grappling, whether it be the striking. He's not absolutely without technique. He does have some technique. Let's not get out of hand. But it does look very sloppy, but it works. He gets the job done. He's a very explosive, very powerful guy. He's a big 185er. You have Sean Strickland with his southpaw boxing type heavy of approach with his offense and defense. Very, very disciplined with his defense. But honestly, in my opinion, the only way that Sean Strickland could be able to do better, especially what he was in the first fight, definitely had some success. I mean, if you look at the first fight, the teep up the middle, jab straight down the pipe, keeping things at a distance, making Dricus worry about what's coming his way. I don't think Strickland's power is insane. So he really has to start sitting down on his punches, but that's going to be a worry because then Dricus will start timing it and then start to mix in the grappling and the takedowns where Strickland says, be a man, just, bang it out with me on the feet. And Dricus is not up for the games. He's trying to win by any means necessary. And I think this is going to be a rough sled for Sean Strickland. I honestly think he's going to get KO'd. I think the only way that he can be able to honestly see himself winning this fight is having a more output, more offensive mindset in this fight than usually when he is. He's more very defensive responsible, kind of just being in the realm, checking the kicks, in the southpaw stance, keeping everything to a T. And he walks usually the fighters down, but in the fight against Dricus du Plessis, he was the one that actually was getting pushed back, getting the pace pressed on, and getting walked down by Dricus du Plessis. That means to say, what type of power does Dricus actually have in his hands? Because it must be insane. You have to be worried about the guy at all times, especially on the feet. I think Strawn knows that he has to open up a lot more, has to do a lot more offensively, has to take more risk. And I think it'll just be more open on the feet for Dricus to be able to expose Sean on the feet. I think while Dricus starts to mix in the takedown, start to mix in the grappling, Sean will be more worried about it, especially towards the later round and towards the end of the fight. And then eventually, I think Dricus will fake a takedown into maybe a big overhand, maybe a left hook right on the chin, and I think he TKOs or KOs Sean Strickland out of there. So I think Dricus du Plessis is riding on this high momentum. He sees what he has in sights, and Hamzat Chimaev being the absolute boogeyman of this division, a matchup that I am desperately wanting to see. So yeah, I think Dricus gets it done. I think he gets this guy out of here. But I think it will be definitely a hell of a fight, though. I think it'll be probably the best performance that we'll see out of Sean Strickland probably since the Adesanya fight, but maybe even better because yeah, he made Adesanya look like nothing on the feet. I think he will actually want to go to war like he usually says whenever he talks about fights. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Dricus on that. This card is absolutely horrendous. This card is abysmal. I don't know what Dana White and the UFC were thinking about. Dude, you had Dan Hooker. You got Adesanya fighting a week before of the Australia card. Volk, JDM. There's so many names, and they're not fighting on this card. I mean, it's whatever. But yeah, like this video if you obviously like this video. Comment your opinions on what you think is going to happen in the main event, because honestly, in this card, that's the only thing that interests me. It's important to me. Not even the co-main is whatever. It's WMMA. Zhang Wei Li. She'll probably get it done. And subscribe, man. Subscribe, UFC fans. I'm here consistently every single fight weekend. Putting in these picks. Putting in these predictions. Putting my life on the line. Fucking UFC. What a horrendous card, dude. Horrendous. Anyways, thank you guys again for watching again. Listening to me rant about how trash the UFC is. And, I mean, they're making up for it. The next cards are actually pretty decent. The Fight Nights and the pay-per-views they're alright. So, I mean, take the good with the bad. Anyways, thank you guys again for watching, and peace.